Hi GK people, this is Rumman and we are here at the Woodhull Institute of Ethical Leadership, and we have gathered here for 3 days retreat regarding democracy, and specialists from different fields are here to talk to us about democracy. And I have with me Matthis Chiroux, and he was a 5-year surgeon, and then he organized a grassroots institution called IVAW against the war crimes that's happening in Iraq. So I'll shift to Matthis. So Matthis, tell us something about how you came to form the IVAW.
Okay. Well, I certainly didn't form it. Iraq Veterans Against the War was formed in 2005. Originally, I believe there were 7 members, and since then, our organization has expanded to include roughly 2,000 veterans of the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq, or just the military at large. I'll share with you our 3 points of unity. They are: 1, the immediate unconditional withdrawal of all occupying forces from both Iraq and Afghanistan. This includes the military contractors, which are stealing the work of rebuilding from the people and turning it into clearly a mess. Our second point of unity is that we demand full and adequate health care for all returning veterans and full benefits. And thirdly, we demand reparations for the people of Iraq and Afghanistan for the destruction that we've caused in both of their countries.
So, what was your initial? There's supposed to be fear because you were an army surgeon, and then you dropped to protest against the war. So, what was the fear that you had initially?
In protesting the war?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't think it was proper for me as a soldier. I was told this by my command, as all soldiers are. People aren't interested in the opinions of soldiers. You follow orders. Furthermore, when the Iraq War started going extremely south and it lost popular support among the military population, the message that was given us was, the war may be wrong, you may be against it, but it's not your job to protest it. There are civilian demonstrators out there, and these civilian demonstrators are doing this job. Your job is to follow orders and be a soldier. So I experienced, a lot of fear of repression. I was afraid to have my voice heard on such a contentious issue, for fear of how that may affect my future, my career. But I think the real sea change for me came, I've always, to some degree, been against both wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. But what made the difference for me was the cognitive liberation that I underwent, which elevated the wrong, in my mind, from being a mistake to being a crime. And when something becomes a crime, I have no choice but to oppose it like that. So it was for me understanding the war not to just be a mistake, but an actual crime.
Another thing that you told, you lobbied against the war in Congress. How did you, what happened? Take us through that moment.
Sure. Well, I officially refused my orders in Congress on May 15th, 2008. I said I wasn't deploying and I wasn't going into hiding. Instead, what I did is I stayed in Washington, D.C., and I sent emails to every member of the Out of Iraq Caucus, which is a caucus about 50 strong in the House of Representatives that opposed the war and went so far even to say things like it's illegal and it's racist and it's destructive to both our country and theirs. So I identified some common ground, and I thought these folks would probably like to hear from a member of the military taking a similar stance and who was acting out on that. So I sent tons of emails to all of them, and I wound up meeting with most of the people that I sent emails to. I would put the number somewhere around 40, although I don't have an official tally. However, 13 of them came through for me and signed a letter of support for not just myself, but all members of the military resisting the war in Iraq.
So they were here. They had the same history like you. they all dropped from military and then supported you. The 13 people who signed the petition.
I couldn't tell you how many of those people had prior military experience. I know for a fact not all of them. There might be one or two on there, I'm trying to think. But you know, you don't find actually as many veterans serving in the House of Representatives. Veterans returning from combat deal with a wide range of issues which typically prevent them from reaching their full potential. And so while I don't think a lot of the folks that I worked with on the Hill were veterans, we certainly related on the issues, and that's the unity I was building from.
It's really great of you to form IVAW and then go against the international level and then protest against the war crimes. One day you'll surely get to the aim that you guys like hoping to get. So thank you very much.
Of course, Rumman.
Thank you very much.
You're a really smart kid. I tell you, you folks from Global Kids are extremely bright. All of you. I mean, seriously, each and every one of you. I am used to speaking to high school kids. I do it a lot. I try to organize resistance to military recruiters in high schools. You guys are, and girls, excuse me, are among the best and the brightest young people that I've been exposed to. And I'm very honored to be able to work with you and hopefully to build some teams out of this, right? Maybe 30 years from now, we'll all be our own caucus in the House of Representatives, huh?
I'm with it.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
So that was Matthis Chiroux, and this is Rumman saying bye.